Hey everybody, it's Eric here from Pure Vita Fitness here doing 4 weird summer shape up tips. That's our theme right now is summer bodies are made in the spring. And I wanted to bring you just 4 tips. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about a specific body part tip. Training last week we talked about flat stomach. Tomorrow you'll have to just wait and see what I talk about for another body part that we to effectively target. Today I'm going to talk about 4 weird tips that we want to really look at if you want to see your body change by June, and this is the time to get started. So, number one tip is going to sound weird, but become inefficient. Becoming inefficient basically means we often are like creatures of habit. We just get stuck doing the same thing over and over again, and our body's very, very smart. And when we do the same thing over and over again, we don't burn as many calories. It isn't as hard to work, and there's no new stimulus to adapt to. So I see people do things like, I run 3 miles a day, I get on the elliptical an hour a day, and that might give you some results at first, but a lot of times what you're going to find is a lot of diminishing returns and eventually a plateau. And a lot of people get stuck in these workout boxes that they create for themselves, that they got to do cardio this many days a week, and they've got to do certain exercises over and over again. So they do these things over and over again to hoping to get different results, and that's the difference. That's the definition of insanity. So becoming inefficient means getting out of your box, doing things that might be a little bit uncomfortable and challenge you a little bit. And that's where a lot of people kind of fall up short. They just don't train hard enough, or they don't know how to get out of their box, or they're afraid to. They're afraid to try these exercises without proper coaching. So becoming inefficient will make your body burn more calories and kind of trick your body into burning more calories. And just like an example is maybe you've been in good running shape or biking shape, and all of a sudden you get in the pool and try swimming and you just start sucking wind and your body just gives out quicker. That's a good example of becoming inefficient. Your body's expending more calories trying to learn how to swim or remember how to swim than maybe that 3-mile run you've been doing over and over again where your body's become very, very efficient. So becoming inefficient is number one key. Number two is one habit a month. I heard a great podcast not too long ago, I think it was last week, and he talked about setting a goal to create one new good habit a month. Too often we have big egos and we think that we can do a lot of things, when reality is we're trying to get in shape, be there for our family. I know tonight I'm between running kids from 2 activities, work a full-time job, which full-time is not 40 hours a week anymore for most of us. And then also have friendships and have a social life. So it's impossible to say that you're going to do like 3 good habits in a month. It's just most people get overwhelmed and then they don't do any because they get overwhelmed and they quit. So the idea is just to pick one habit to focus on. It doesn't mean throw everything else out, but really just hone in on that one habit. It might be drinking more water. It might be getting off your screen an hour before bed. It might be getting 10,000 steps a day, but find one habit to work on per month. And think about it, by the end of the year you've got 12 new habits. That's powerful if we just do it at one a month. But too often, like I said, people try to do a bunch of habits at once. They end up doing the all or nothing thing, overwhelming themselves, quitting, burning themselves out, and then trying to start the whole thing up again, doing the same thing over and over again. So one habit a month, that's what we want to focus on. Number 3, who are you hanging out with? All right, this is always a big one, but have you ever heard the analogy of the crabs in the bucket? The one crab is trying to climb out of the bucket, and the other crabs take their pinchers and drag them back down. That's a lot like humans, all right? When you're trying to make positive changes in your life, don't be surprised when friends or associates try to sabotage your efforts, try to get you to go out to that happy hour, try to get you to eat that big dessert. Oh, come on, just one won't hurt. Come on, what's wrong with you? People will do that because when you try to make a positive change, it makes them uncomfortable because it forces them to look at themselves and they realize they should probably be making it. But if they can knock you down and keep you down with them, it makes them feel better. So you have to think about who you're hanging out with. And when you're around people that have similar goals, similar mindset, are going in the same area you're going to be much more successful. And I've told people that. I'm not saying don't be friends with people anymore, but you really have to watch who you're spending your time with because that will really affect your success. Too often I see people that want to have really good nutrition, but they're getting peer pressured into happy hour every night. And I'm sorry, happy hour usually comes with alcohol, which is empty calories, and then you throw on some bar food, which I wouldn't classify as real healthy. So think about who are you hanging out with. Are the people you're hanging out with supporting your goals or sabotaging them? That's number 3. And number 4 is going to be a self-imposed deadline. Everybody I've seen, has worked under a deadline. When we were growing up, we had tests, we had homework assignments. A lot of us have work deadlines. Maybe you sign up for a race. My wife did a marathon last fall, and I've never seen her train harder in her life because she knew she had to be ready for the Twin Cities Marathon. I've done physique shows and bodybuilding shows, and it's not really about the show. It's about creating a self-imposed deadline because there's a sense of urgency, because human nature will be to procrastinate. You will procrastinate if you don't have a deadline. And some people I've seen schedule photo shoots. It might be a class reunion. It might be a vacation. Whatever it is, creating a self-imposed deadline creates a sense of urgency and will get you off your butt doing something. So those are my 4 tips, just to run through them again. Becoming inefficient, basically changing up your workout, doing things that are uncomfortable to make your body burn more calories. Number 2 is to make sure you're doing only 1 habit a month. I call that maximal sustainable effort. Most people, studies show over one habit a month leads to 100% failure rate. Number 3 is who are you hanging out with? You will be the sum of your top 5 associates or friends. And number 4 is creating a self-imposed deadline. Those are things you don't hear about with a lot of fitness programs. So I wanted to share those things with you. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, maybe you're kind of like, okay, that sounds really good, but how do I do all that? I just want to tell you about, we do have a great program. It starts off this Saturday. It's our 8-week Jumpstart program. It's awesome because for the next 8 weeks, you're going to have accountability. You're going to have structure. You're going to have a self-imposed deadline because it ends. There's a hard deadline of June 8th when we end this sucker. And so you get points for doing things on your own, and we have it handicapped for if you've never exercised before, you're going to be on the same playing field as somebody who's in advanced exercise. People that have been working out longer, we're going to make them do more to get the same amount of points. You get points, and at the end we have a spa day, or you can get a travel voucher from us as a grand prize. But the best prize of all is being in great shape. And part of this deal is really having just, challenges that we have on Saturdays. We have seminars and webinars to educate you along the way. And we have healthy habit challenge, self-challenges. So you don't have to make every event to have this be effective. But like I was starting to say, and I interrupted myself, the real prize is going to be feeling and looking your best in time for summer. Because I know we're supposed to get a snowstorm. I heard a rumor this week, but it is coming, and it's going to be here fast. And I hate it when people don't enjoy summer because they don't like the way they feel, or they don't have the energy to get out there and enjoy our Minnesota summers, which I think are awesome in my opinion. So our 8-week Jumpstart starts this Saturday. It's $169 for 8 weeks. You get a lot of value. You get a coach. You get accountability. You get lots of challenges, lots of education. And the best thing is we have to make you set a SMART goal. So you set a goal, and when you set a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, and realistic and timely, there we go. And you go through and you follow through and you hit that goal, that creates momentum in your life. And when you have momentum in your life in the fitness arena, it starts to feed over into the other arenas. I've said this over and over again on my videos and my posts, is creating that momentum, creating that mindset of following through, committing to something and following through. That gets you into a champion's mindset and starts to get you down the road to accomplish goals, not just in fitness, but in other areas of your life. So 8-week Jumpstart, $169. I am going to put the link up here in the comments section. If you're interested,